Hello everyone. This video will give you an overview of how to access your digital professional development for Words Their Way, along with some other miscellaneous things. So your Words Their Way digital professional development is housed on my Google site. It's not something that I've utilized a ton, however, definitely it will be utilized more for Words Their Way and other things as we get into next year. So I will send you the link to my Google site, and this is the page that shows up when you go to that link. You'll see the tabs at the top of the page, and you'll click on Words Their Way. That will bring you to this page. At the top are some general overview documents that I'm going to go over now, and then all the videos are below that. So the first thing you need to know is that as you have questions, as you watch the videos, it will be important that you reach out to me and ask me what those questions are. You can definitely refer to your PD book, which I'll show you here in a second, and I highly recommend that as well. But as you have questions, if you would please open up that first link, which was called Words Their Way Q&A. And then whichever chapter your question is from, then you'll just type in your question there. So add rows as needed, and then type in only one question per cell. So the only reason why I put Q1 there was so you knew that question 1 goes there. So whoever has question 1 for chapter 1 will start typing their question right there. And then the answer will go under A1. And then question 2 will go where Q2 is. Answer 2 will go where A2 is. So let me put Q1 back up there. And the videos are organized in chapters that go along with the PD book. That's why this Q&A is organized according to the chapter. So basically, chapter 1 is the overview or the philosophy of orthographic, which is just spelling, development. So a lot of background in PD in phonics at the upper elementary level, something we don't always get. Then chapter 2 is assessment. Basically, chapter 3 is organizing and getting ready to implement word study in your classroom. So again, please utilize that. Access that. Even if you don't have questions, you might get on there and check to see what other people are wondering about, and that might give you some information that you are not aware that you actually could use. Okay, the next link is Words Their Way Materials. This simply just gives you a visual of the materials that you will receive. The materials will not be ordered until after July 1st. So you are welcome to wait till after that point to watch these videos if you would like. However, you will have access to them anytime. So everybody will get this first book, Word Study for Phonics, Vocabulary, and Spelling Instruction. And I will refer to this as the PD book as we go along in the videos. This is because this whole entire book, guys, really is your professional development go-to resource. So definitely refer to that. As we worked through the pilot, a lot of the questions that we had when I asked our literacy reps from Words Their Way, they would always, at least to me, say, well, we need to look in chapter 2, the answers in chapter 2. So almost all the questions that we had, the answers were in there. The challenge with the pilot was our time was limited. So diving into that book was not always feasible. So we will need to do that as we implement Words Their Way next year. Then the other books you'll receive are these books right here. I refer to these as the spelling stage books. So there are stages within Words Their Way depending on your student's spelling knowledge. Third grade teachers, you will get the letter name and alphabetic book, which is the red one here, although you probably will have very few, if any, students in that book. But we wanted to get it for you just in case. There's also within word patterns, syllables and affixes, and derivational relations. So you will get the books, and there's going to be more than one, that correspond to your grade level and what books you'll need. So again, you'll get the PD book and then whichever ones of these you need. This does look a little bit different than the materials we got for the pilot. And I'm going to be totally transparent with this, guys. To get everything that we could have utilized in the pilot, like the digital component, the student books, the purple teacher's guide. To get all of that, that would have cost $58,000. And with the other adoptions that we have this coming year, along with other expenses in the district, it just wasn't feasible. However, that really is not a problem because this, as we observed in Park Hill a couple of years ago, this is all that they have as they implement Words Their Way, and they say that this works just fine for them, that they do not need all the other materials. So it just is what it is, and we'll still do amazing things with these resources. Okay, so Words Their Way PD checklist. If you step on that or click on that, then you will see a document where we are asking that you check off or just put an X. I suppose that'd probably be easier. Put an X inside of the box as you watch each video. So the video right now is the introduction video. Then you'll watch chapter 1 videos. Now keep in mind that there may be 2 or 3, maybe even 4 videos that go along with chapter 1. So don't put an X until you watch all of those. Same thing with chapter 2 and chapter 3. Again, this is just so we can keep track of who has done the work. And then if you scroll down, you'll see 4th grade and then 5th and 6th grade as well. Everybody does need to watch these videos, whether you were a pilot teacher or not, because there's some information in these videos that I can tell you was not given in the professional development you received when you were part of the pilot. So you want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Okay, so the videos get into a ton of detail, guys. It really is some good professional development. However, this link here, Words Their Way Step-by-Step Guide, it is an overview of how to implement the program. And if it were me, I would print this off, maybe hang it up in my room or put it somewhere where I would not lose it, because it is a very simple, okay, first I do this, second I do this, etc. So you see the steps, what you do, and then what chapter from the PD book, which again is that blue, yellow, and white book, the chapter that that topic corresponds to. So step 1, everybody is required to give the elementary spelling inventory, and I have that link there for you. That needs to be given at the beginning of the year. It will also be given in the winter and the spring, FYI. The words that you give in the spelling test are right there for you. And then it tells you how to use the feature guide, which we'll talk about here in a second as well. So lots of information there for you. First, you give that spelling test. Second, you're going to fill out the feature guide. And all of this is explained in the videos. So that's why I'm not going over it now. All of it will be explained in the videos. So you'll fill out the feature guide for each student. So print off a copy of that for each student, fill it out for each student. Then you'll have one spelling by stage organization chart for your whole class. You'll put down what stage the students are in, and then that will form your groups. Next, design your weekly rotation. There'll be videos on that from chapter 3. Launch your weekly rotation, teach routines and procedures. That is something that our literacy specialist from Words Their Way really stressed, that you launch this just in a similar fashion than as what you would launch within reading or writing workshop. So be careful diving straight into instruction before you establish those routines and procedures. Step 6, monitor student growth with assessment options. We give you multiple assessment options, and I will tell you this was a big question that we had in the pilot. We were not aware of everything that we could utilize in order to assess our students to know whether they were actually learning what we were teaching. So you'll definitely want to refer to this. Again, this information is in the video, so you'll learn more later. Let's see, track student progress with the tracking chart. Here's an example found in the syllables and affixes book. There's one of these in each one of the spelling stage books. So if you want to track student progress, definitely utilize that. Okay, and then you adjust instruction and adjust groups as necessary over the next several months. Then when winter comes along, you repeat much of that process. Give the spelling inventory again, fill out the feature guide for each student, fill out one organization chart, and regroup your kids based on the progress that they have made. Continue instruction and adjust as necessary. Pursue and utilize those assessment options, track student progress just like before, and then at the end of the year, we'll give that elementary spelling inventory once again. So again, this is just an overview to make it very explicit. Okay, this is what you need to do first, second, third, etc. Okay, so if we go back to the website, back to my Google site, that's what's at the top. Below that, you see this big blank page because I'm going to put, or big blank space, because the video I'm recording right now will go right there. So you will see that. Then along the left-hand side, I have the videos for Chapter 1. Some of them are shorter, some of them are up to 15 minutes. So watch them at your own pace. And then again, as you have questions from Chapter 1 videos, go up to that Words Their Way Q&A and put your questions in there. That is important that you utilize that since we do not have a lot of face-to-face PD initially with this. Chapter 2 is along the right-hand side, getting started. So that's basically assessments. How do you utilize assessments? What assessments do we have? And how do you monitor student growth? Again, as you have questions from Chapter 2, put those on the Words Their Way Q&A document. Above the videos for each section, I have some documents that I refer to within the videos that you might want to look at as well. And then I do not yet have Chapter 3 done. Chapter 3 tells you how to organize and form your groups. So videos will be below, somewhere at the bottom here for that. And then the rest of the chapters from the PD book really cover each individual stage and is great information. And you'll want to take a look at those as well. But the three main chapters, Chapter 1, 2, and 3 from the PD book will tell you how to set up the program. And honestly, that's where the information from these videos came from, directly from that book. So I've done a lot of the reading. I've summarized it on these videos. Refer to those chapters as you need more help. One last thing I wanted to share with you. I will also share a Words Their Way folder with you that will be labeled Words or WTW 1819 PD. So you'll click on that, and then there'll be folders in there for you to access all of the documents that I am referring to within the videos or those that you will need in order to implement the program. Okay, guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email. That's always an option too. Even throughout the summer, I'm more than happy to check my email and answer the questions that you have. That's totally appropriate and okay with me. All right, thanks, guys.